Hello and welcome to Ula Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenore and tonight I'm going to be reading your tea leaves. This is a horoscope for Pisces. If Pisces is your solar, lunar, ascendant / rising sign, then this is a message for you. All right, let's get started. And so this is a bonus reading for Pisces, and our card tonight is the Chariot. So I have a feeling this is going to have to do with some kind of work in your life, right? How you make your money, how you keep your home, family, hobbies, whatever. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look and see what these tea leaves have to say. And so if you have not subscribed yet, please think about doing that. You can hit that little bell. It'll let you know when the next readings are coming out. It is free to subscribe. Now immediately I want to get into this image here. I'm going to do this oh, look at that one. It's a dog. Okay. I am going to do this real quick. Sometimes I have to get it just right. How I know the thumbnail I have to take a screenshot for the thumbnail later. So I have to get it nice and framed in there for a second. Okay, so we have a person here. You can see this kind of, the arms, the head, the body, and the feet. Okay, so, but we also have the face right in the middle. Okay, so it reminds me of this motif in art. It's called hellmouth. And yes, hellmouth. And I think it became pretty prevalent in maybe like European medieval times. Okay, you can see it on tapestries, on old paintings, and it usually is kind of a beast or some kind of scary looking rock formation, and it has eyes and it has a big mouth and it's open and you can see the teeth, and there are usually a stream of people walking into it. Sometimes it is that the mouth is open and there's a lot of people in there, kind of twisted up and in toil, and so it is. It is the opening to the underworld, to hell, right? And so, I'm seeing that we have a person with this in the middle of their stomach. Now, they're also holding, it looks like an S, okay? Maybe they have an S name. Immediately, as soon as I saw this, I said, this is a person who is a lot of trouble. This is a person who, for whatever reason, I don't know. It could be that they're family and there's a loyalty there. It could be that this is like somebody that you're in love with, right? A spouse or somebody that, you're in a partnership with or whatever. But there is just this part of them that seems really big, right? I mean, it is a large part of who they are, at least parts of themselves they identify with, that they dwell in. And it feels like anger, right? Rage, destruction, and this tendency to be not able to go and find outlets for that, but they want to kind of drag everybody down with them. So if they're not feeling good, they want to make sure that everybody else around them is not feeling good, right? They don't know how to temper themselves. They don't know how to kind of just, go deal with their feelings and then come back when they're ready, right? This is like if they are having a bad day, the whole family is going to have a bad day. The whole household is going to have a bad day. And, and I think that this is a situation where I think you're obviously acutely aware of this, but you know, I think there's a lot of back and forth of what do I do here, right? I love this person, I care about this person, but their behavior and probably their unwillingness to work on it is becoming too destructive. It's unmanageable for you, right? Probably also the rest of the family. Okay, so if there are kids involved, or maybe this is like one of your adult children, and or even younger children, maybe you know, very difficult, out of control of themselves, defiant or destructive in some way, and it is affecting the entirety of the family, right? Not just you. So yeah, I think that you're at a place where you're like making some big decisions about what are we going to do here going forward. I have spoken to them endlessly. I've tried to, you know, set boundaries, maybe even, you know, ultimatums, lost your cool, you know, been kind of dragged into a place of turmoil yourself, being angry, being, you know, reactive and so on. And, you know, I feel like this is not the way that you want to live. It's not the way that you have envisioned your life going. And so, yeah, this is a place where you begin to not only make those difficult choices, but really figuring out how you stay the course, right? So you make a decision. Maybe this is your spouse, you know, they're yelling, calling names, you know, whatever it is, hopefully not worse, but, you know, and you can't live with them anymore. You just can't. You can't do it anymore. And so you start out on your journey of, you know, an exit plan. And, you know, now it's kind of like you got to figure out how to continue and not get drawn back in. Because, yeah, let's face it, that's what happens. You know, at the extremes, and we've all known people, unfortunately, you know, that have probably been in really, really volatile relationships, dangerous relationships. And as much as they know they need to leave, they don't know how to. There is a learned helplessness, right? There is that cycle of, you know, feeling like once you're outside of the chaos, you know, it doesn't feel safe, which is weird. But that's what happens, right? You live in chaos. You live in turmoil. You live in, you know, a place of big passion and big anger and falling out and making back up and all that. And then you get outside of it and everything is a lot more, it feels dull, right? It feels like, well, I will just say from my experience, finally getting into a relationship, years, you know, of self-work and getting sober, getting into recovery, going to lots of therapy and dealing with my grief and all this stuff. I get into a relationship with my husband, even while we were dating, this is true, because he was not so reactive or emotive or, you know, playing these huge mental games and you know, trying to, well, you know, I don't know, control me. He wasn't trying to control me. And I thought, this guy doesn't even like me because he's not fighting with me. because he's not putting me down. He's not, you know, whatever. Because I had grown up in a situation like that. I had a series of relationships that were, you know, problematic. And it felt normal. That's all I really ever knew, you know. And, yeah. And I think that happens to a lot of people. And so, you know, I feel that it can almost feel impossible to break away from it. It can feel really lonely once you do. Because you're not in that, you know, that chaos, in that survival mode, in that trying to navigate somebody's emotions who is very mercurial, up and down. And so, I think it's important, if this is a situation where you really have to get away from this person, or maybe this, you know, maybe it's a parent and you're deciding finally, even as an adult, you might be 50 years old and you're thinking, okay, I'm going no contact now. I've had enough. I've had 50 years of manipulation, of toxicity, of being told I'm not good enough, or, you know, what I'm doing is meaningless, or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. And so, you get to a point where it's like, yeah, I feel strong here and I'm walking away. You're going to need support. Okay, so find the people in your life who you trust and ideally are kind of unrelated to the situation, and especially the person. Okay, find your support. Okay, keep reminding yourself, why are you doing this? Thinking about that. It's almost like being, you know, possessed. If you've ever been around somebody who is a very angry person and they get into that place and they let themselves, you know, succumb to that rage, it absolutely feels like the person has been taken over. And so when they come down from that and they seem more reasonable, right? It's easy to forget that intensity, or at least the feeling of, you know, whatever, the turmoil that they bring. And so, yeah, it feels like a lot. It feels like a very toxic energy. And, you know, my big hope here is that maybe this is kind of recalling the past. Hopefully this is something that you've already been through and gotten away from. That would be the best news. Okay. Now we also have the number 2 up here. Okay. We have, I'm going to adjust. Now we have, it looks like the word teal. Teal. So teal. Maybe is that your favorite color? I like the color teal. I do. Well, green is, I think, maybe my favorite color, or brown or black. But yes, the two together, blue and green, the many varieties of are just gorgeous. So we have the word teal, and we have a ram right up here. You can see the beautiful horns. Here's the head and the horn, the body. Okay, and then we have a person sitting here. We have another person sitting here. So they're not sitting. It looks like they're actually, it almost looks like they're in a conflict. Now, we also have a third person. So at first I thought, oh, okay, they're all sitting like watching a movie. But then I'm realizing it looks like the ram is running straight for them. So I wonder, maybe, is this person with the anger issues an Aries person? I really do. I feel like it's just, there's so much conflict here. It feels like this is a person who just will destroy like a friendship, a group of friends, cause just havoc within the family when they don't get their way. Just absolutely at odds with everybody. And I almost feel like when they do get into this kind of cycle of just anger, or even, you know, finally somebody standing up to them saying, I'm done with this. We're all done with this. We don't want this energy anymore. It just intensifies, you know. Now we also have the number 29. I do feel though that in your kind of taking the position to exit this dynamic, that others will follow. So I do wonder if this is a family member, maybe like I said, maybe it's like a parent. And once one of you has finally said, I'm not doing this anymore, maybe the others will say the same. Like once, you know, I'm done here until you get some help. You go to therapy, you go to anger management, or, you know, whatever it is. So I feel like there's a sense of, of really kind of coming together as a collective kind of energetic movement. Now, let's see. Now we have, it looks like Pan, a satyr. You can see here the head, the horn, the body, and it looks like they're holding a teapot. And that too, it's just hanging out, right? So I do kind of feel, I feel as this situation kind of arises and you go through it and then it settles down, which it will. And I do believe that maybe it is kind of that they are not around. You're not in their life really that much anymore, if at all. And the peace that comes with that, I feel like it gives you so much space in your life that you hadn't even realized you've been in a room. It feels like suffocating, right? And it's like going outside into the fresh air for the first time, right? And you don't even realize. You go out there and you think, what is this? This feels weird. Like I can breathe. The air is, you know, clean and open and, you know, like you can just take it all in. And then you start to feel like if you go back in there, you will notice how thick it is, right? You have become accustomed to always feeling like you're walking on eggshells. You've become accustomed to always wondering, how is this going to make them react, behave? Are they going to freak out? Is this going to be a whole ordeal? Is it going to take the whole rest of the day? Is the rest of the week destroyed because I said something the wrong way or whatever? I didn't do they never told me, but they expected me to know, and I didn't do it, and now they're gonna, just absolutely lose it. Right? And when that energy is not in your life, there's so much room for you. And I see you in that satyr energy of finding your wildness, finding those little pieces of feral within yourself, the courage and the drive to do whatever the heck it is you want to do, to be yourself, to not worry what somebody is going to say or feel or judge you or be critical or throw a fit or get jealous or, whatever. None of that. You just get to be who you are. And I feel like ultimately it's something that if you haven't got there yet, it sounds wild, like, okay, sure. But once you start going through the stages of unburdening yourself of somebody's tight clutch, their toxic energies, their, the chaos that they thrive on, the negativity that they thrive on, it's like you begin to unfurl. You're blooming as a being. Okay, so let's look. We also have money in the middle. So I think this is the other aspect, is maybe there was some kind of financial control, that, or maybe your ability to make money has been affected by this person. And now as you get further and further away from this dynamic, this situation, this person, you are making more money. You are thriving. You are able to bring in what you need. And so, yes, I see the money. I see, again, that satyr. It looks like they're kind of dancing around. And we also have HV over here. That might be maybe a name. It looks like HV, or maybe it's HU. And we have a person sitting, and it looks like they're kind of contemplating. So I feel like there's kind of this unbinding of the soul and spirit just flowing generously through life. Also, the ability in this place of ease and, I was going to say comfort. It maybe is not comfort. It's just a space where you feel safe enough to be yourself. You have the ability to kind of quiet your mind now, to really kind of look upon how life is going, how life has gone. What do you want for yourself? What do you want in the future? And yeah, beginning to dream again. And I think it's been a while since you even dared to do so. But here you are. And I think that confidence is returning. That wonder is returning. That oppressive energy has left for the most part. It will take time and lots of work, because these kinds of dynamics, they leave their hooks in even far after the person is gone. And it alters you. It really does. It alters you as a being. But not all is lost, right? We grow and we grow and we heal. And, I think of it in my own, imagery within my therapeutic work when I'm doing active imagination in combination with trauma healing. I think of, my life as maybe a landscape, a forest that has at times burnt down to the ground, And if you've ever seen an area that's had a wildfire recently, it does. It's devastating. It looks just absolutely like a alien landscape, right? But here's the thing is that it's necessary at times for these places to burn because it creates nutrients for the next round. And often the forest grows back stronger and more beautiful and healthy. Okay, so that's why I advocate for putting money into the park services. Controlled burns. No, I don't know. I don't know that much about it, but I did grow up in California. So Northern California, and yeah, I don't know. I don't know what it's like there now. You know, haven't lived there full time in almost 20 years, but yeah, as a kid, I always wondered why they were doing controlled burns and stuff like that. And yeah, it's important. It is important. So anyways, let's go ahead. We're going to look at our self-care affirmation cards. And I'm going to go ahead, flip through, stop where it feels right. It says crystal clarity. I have focused clarity. The universe provides for my desires with abundance as I become clear as crystal. All right. And so, Pisces, I'm going to go ahead and tell you I love you because I do, and I thank you so much for spending this time with me. It is always such an honor to be able to bring these messages to you. And if you would be so kind as to like the video, it really does help the channel. And if you have not subscribed yet, please think about doing that. And yes, it's free to subscribe. And if you'd like to leave a comment, please do. I'd love to hear from you. Also, if you're new to the channel, definitely leave a comment in the comment section. Tell me this is your first time here. You're new to the channel. I love hearing that. I love knowing that there are new people coming in. What else? Yeah, I don't know. I think that's it, really. All right. So I want to tell you, I love you. I love you. I love you. Take care of yourself. We'll talk in a few days. Good night.